Everyone, welcome back to the Freak Show podcast. I am your resident freak, Jeff Borschowa, and today we are going to continue our 10-part series on the 10 driven traits. So far, we've talked about big picture and adaptive self. Today, we are going to talk about hyperfocus. If you know anything about being in the zone, you understand hyperfocus. Now, to be honest, I never thought of this as a superpower until I realized that I did it. So I hope this is useful to somebody who's maybe just starting to figure out where they are in life. Now, interesting thing, when I was first diagnosed with ADHD, I was diagnosed by somebody who did not fully understand the spectrum. And again, no judgment, times were what they were. But they told me with 100% certainty that I would have trouble sitting still. I would bounce around. I'd have lots of energy and I would not be able to focus. And I rejected that diagnosis for a decade because I have hyperfocus. And what I've come to realize is ADHD is not defined by the lack of focus. It's defined more by the inability to control focus. So there is the type of ADHD where you're hyperactive. I am hyper focused. So I just wanted to share that weird little tidbit because a lot of people say, but I can focus, so I can't have ADHD. Well, the thing with me is I can focus. Changing my focus is the hard part. So let's define hyperfocus. Most people call it being in the zone. I'm not saying you have to have ADHD to be in the zone, but I have ADHD and my hyperfocus looks like I'm in the zone. Now, one of the weird side effects is when I'm deeply, deeply focused, if someone interrupts me, I take a while to come back to present. And in the meantime, I've disengaged control of my face. So apparently, I have a really angry resting face, which comes out when I'm disturbed. And I've had people back away and apologize. I am not physically, mentally present when that happens. It's me trying to untangle from hyperfocus. So I just want you to know if people interrupt you and then apologize and say you look angry, it could be because you're hyperfocused. Just saying. So, hyperfocus is the ability to concentrate on one thing and literally tune everything else out. Hyperfocus often creates a situation where time passes without you being aware of it. So for me personally, I can go in hyperzone. I forget to eat. I forget to sleep. I forget to stop to go to the bathroom. I have to be reminded of these things when I'm hyperfocused. So when others are around me, I set alarms so that I can re-engage just so I don't forget things. So as a blessing, hyperfocus is my absolute favorite superpower when I'm intentional about it. And as always, it can become a curse if I'm not intentional. So, in my hyperfocus, it is a state where I can be extremely productive with everything, and I mean everything, on focused on one singular objective. It can be the source of amazing progress and huge breakthroughs. Now, there are two situations where hyperfocus can become a problem. Not always, but can. First, hyperfocus does mean that I'm focused on only one thing. And generally speaking, that can make me blind to other things, or I can miss other opportunities or important events because I'm too busy focusing. So it can be a curse if I'm not recognizing there are other aspects of my life. For example, I might focus 100% on my business. I need to stop every now and then and refocus on friends, family, etc. The second type of curse is hyperfocus is almost addictive. It is a very enjoyable state to be there, and you can feel energized and focused. There is a chance that we can overlook things and we can hyper focus on things we shouldn't because we're trying to avoid other things. So, hyper focus could be not necessarily productive if you're focusing on the wrong things. Some common examples of hyper focus that are misapplied: playing video games. While enjoyable, sometimes we need to come up for air, we need to bathe, we need to eat, we need to socialize. So sometimes it's hard to reconnect with the world when we're hyper focused. Um, you might recognize it in others when they say, if you interrupt them, just give me 5 more minutes. And of course, it's 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. But basically, for me personally, when I have a project, I love the hyper focus. So I hope that was useful to you, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts. How does hyper focus show up for you?